Today on Singles Court, Millie whipped George's house into shape, but is her business really that clean?
And she's letting some guy out of my house in a three-piece business suit.
George thinks someone's misbehaving.
There's nothing wrong with bondage, all right?
What?
Bondage?
Yeah, bondage.
I thought we were talking about cleaning a house.
And things have come to a head between Glen and Lucy.
I tried to lovingly run my fingers through his hair.
Lovingly.
She says get rid of the lid.
You have something on your head that is not
I don't
part
have
of your
anything
body.
on my
He says keep your hair on.
What is it?
Not a toupee.
Okay.
It's not. It's not a toupee. Well, hello there, and welcome to Singles Court, the prima donna production of the Singles Broadcast Network. I'm the show's producer, Michael Day, but please go buck wild for the show's host, relationship mediator, Angela Siegel.
Hi, Michael. I tell you, singles everywhere. Did you see all the people who are getting ready for this float? You know, we have Singles Expo coming up.
The big parade.
Yeah.
Yes. Not my favorite parade, but
Oh, come on. Well, at least we didn't make you the mascot this year.
Thank you. Maybe next year. I'll hold my breath. Okay, in the studio today we have George and Millie. George is a bookkeeper and Millie runs her own business. It's called Millie Mop, and it's a house cleaning service. Very interesting. Maybe I'll be calling you to come over and clean my place. However, they met a few weeks ago and at a garden center, I believe, and the relationship blossomed immediately. But George now thinks that Millie is doing a little more than business. I'll let them explain it better, but I call this the case of the Happy Housekeeper.
Mm-hmm. So, George, you seem to have a problem with your new housekeeper.
Can I tell you about it?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. So, about 3 weeks ago, I was at a gardening center and I was looking for some flowers for my flower garden, petunias. And I had a big flat of petunias and I was standing in line, and then this beautiful woman, Millie, was standing next to me, and she had a flat of petunias too. And we started talking, and she gave me some really good advice as to how to fertilize, the right kind of fertilizer. And we were talking and getting along pretty well. Mm-hmm. And she told me she lived in the neighborhood. And then she told me that she had a cleaning service. And I thought, well, I need somebody to clean my house.
And she's pretty, and she's carrying petunias.
Gorgeous
what more
and
can you
smart.
ask
Well,
for?
that's what I thought. So I asked her.
We really enjoy talking to each other.
We were having a great time.
At least 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Real friendly. It was really, really nice.
Okay, yeah, this is good.
So I
Laying
thought,
the groundwork for a relationship.
pretty
I'm
much
liking
so.
this.
Yeah, I was hoping. So anyway, I had her come to my house last week. And I thought it would be a good idea if I maybe came home early from work to maybe talk with her, you know, see how things were. So
I'm sorry, you came early?
Well, yeah, I thought it would be a nice opportunity to get to
Okay, but
know
wait,
you.
so she's cleaning your house and you came to your house early.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I left work early. Okay.
Okay.
So
check up on her.
No, I just wanted to say hi.
Exactly.
I wanted to say
creepy. It's
all
like
I
you're
wanted
spying
to.
on
No,
me.
listen. I just wanted to
Okay, go
get to
ahead.
know her.
Get to the point.
Okay, so.
My house is going to be dusty by the time you're finished this story.
Sorry. There you go. Came up to the door, and as I was coming up, the door opens, and she's letting some guy out of my house in a three-piece business suit with dark sunglasses.
Okay, no, wait a second. First of all, I am a businesswoman, okay? I have a cleaning service, but I can't do it all myself. I have people on my roster.
Okay, so you're in his house, cleaning his house.
Yes.
And this man in a business suit is one of your helpers?
Exactly.
Cleaning my house in a I don't think so. What kind of business, what is that?
Let's ask. What is that?
Well,
want an
listen,
explanation.
you know, I don't have that much money in my budget that I could, you know, supply uniforms.
So he wears his business suit to clean
I
the
don't
house.
care what he comes in as
You're
long
saying
as he cleans.
this gentleman works for you?
Yes.
Not
What kind of work can he do in a three-piece business suit? What do
I
you?
don't know. How did your house look?
The house, it was great.
Exactly. You tell her.
It was great.
I mean, that's what you hired her to do. What do you care what they wear?
Well, I was caring because I thought maybe we might have some sort of a relationship, and then I see this guy in my house, and
So
he's
really
looking as he's coming.
So really the issue, George, is that you're wondering what's going on with this guy in my house when I really
Precisely.
wanted to like hit on it. Her.
I didn't want to hit on her. I just wanted to
Well, what do
maybe
you
get
call it?
closer. Well, I was attracted to her.
Wait a second.
I still
Whatever
am, but-
happened to just asking me out for coffee? Once you hired me as a business service, I have to put on my business mask.
I'm feeling her. I mean, really, you have to understand. She's saying, look, if you wanted to talk to me in that manner, then you should have told me that. You come home and you're mad because there's a guy
I
in
want
the
an
house.
explanation. What kind of a guy was in my house? Was it like a gentleman caller? What, are you a hooker, a prostitute? You having sex with this man?
George, no, wait a second. You're accusing me of being
I'm
a hooker,
just
a prostitute?
asking.
Listen, this
Well,
is
you know
totally...
what? He's asking.
I have
I
a
know
right
he's
to know.
asking, but it's rude. I'm sorry.
I have a right to know. It's in my house.
I know, but okay, but if she was in her house and a businessman left, would you ask her if she was a hooker?
Listen,
No, that's a question.
Well, if I was interested in getting,
So let me make sure I understand you correctly. If you want to date me, for instance,
Yes.
and you happen to drive up and there is a man that leaves the house and he has on a business suit, you would ask me if I was a hooker.
No, I wouldn't. But this guy was looking very
Because me and
guilty
you would
and
be
very
having it out if you did that.
Well, exactly. He never came to me, never asked then. All of a sudden, let me tell you
Are you?
something. I'm really disappointing you, George, because
disappointed in
this
me.
is so typical,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
listen, there's nothing wrong with bondage, all right?
What?
Bondage?
Yeah,
I
bondage.
thought we were talking about cleaning a house.
Listen, it's a service. It's a service like going to a chiropractor, acupressure massage, having your nails done.
I missed something between the dust in the house and the whip.
Okay,
So, so
Me
please
too.
help me
okay,
understand.
I'm telling you, I am a
Okay.
dominatrix.
So that's what you were doing in his house?
No, listen. Okay.
You're a domin.
Listen, first of all, I am a businesswoman,
Yeah,
and
some business.
I saw the business advantage.
Yeah.
I
Use
deal
my
with
house
men.
for prostitution.
No,
Perfect.
it's not prostitution. There's no
whatever.
sex and no touching. These men can't even give me eye contact. They call me mistress.
You don't have a whip right now, so chill. Let me ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
Because I think what you do, we're not going to go there. I'm more concerned with the fact that you didn't tell him, and granted, you were trying to put together a relationship. By your own admission, you guys liked each other and were talking, and you were doing it in his house. So
Yeah.
Wait.
explain to
And
me.
she said she liked me.
Listen, let me explain being a dominatrix, okay?
Yeah, do.
I get men that are very highly paid individuals. They are businessmen.
That would explain the suit.
They order a lot of people around, and occasionally they crave to be dominated by a woman. And I found the secret that a lot
sick.
of them, it is quite the torture to clean stoves.
So let me make sure I understand you correctly. Your service basically hires people, men. They pay you, and they come in and clean the house. So in other words, you get paid for them doing the work, kind of like a subcontractor.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
more like a submissive
Contract.
subcontractor.
And my house is the brothel. What?
No, excuse me, your house is clean.
Yeah, it's a clean brothel.
But that's
Listen.
what you paid for. I mean,
I
what?
didn't pay for her.
You paid for her to clean the house.
Yeah, but not to
Did
have
you ask-
sex in my house.
But she didn't say she was having
Well,
sex.
I
Come
stand
on.
around with a whip.
Come on,
What's
what?
the difference of manager ordering staff to do things?
What is the
difference?
real issue? You know what that means, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what that
I know
means.
you're feeling that. I know
I
you
feel
are.
it, yeah.
George, what is the real issue? Are you hurt because she doesn't want you?
I'll tell you
Do
what
you
the-
know if she wants you? Do you want to
The
have a
real
relationship
issue
with her?
was that I was kind of attracted to her, and then I was thinking she might be seeing somebody else.
Well, she's seen
What-
a lot of somebody else's.
A lot. Well, I didn't know that. So now
but
my issue is.
professionally, not professionally, she is. Do you still want to have a relationship with this woman, knowing what she does for a living?
Sick. It's kinky. No.
George,
Not
I'm
now. I don't.
So what do you expect me to do?
I
I will go to resolution. Meeting new people in new situations sometimes brings new surprises. George, when you met Millie, you said you liked her. You all met in a public environment. It seems as though you had a 45-minute or better conversation. So things seem to be going pretty well. What happened was you decided to hire her when you probably should have taken her for a cup of coffee and got to know her better. Then you would have had an opportunity to decide if, in fact, you wanted to continue pursuing her. Millie, you, on the other hand, you're a successful businesswoman, you say, in your own right. But there's a certain amount of disclosure required in all relationships, as well as business. I don't understand how you would not tell your customers or your potential partners what you do for a living, especially if you're okay with it, as you say you are. You know, all relationships have that get-to-know period. But that get-to-know period requires direct questions and direct answers. You didn't ask her, she didn't tell you. You didn't tell him, he didn't ask you. So you ended up in a situation where it was the surprise discovery, and unfortunately, it fizzled out this relationship. What I would recommend, Millie, is that from now on, you go into full disclosure and let people make the decision of whether or not they want to be involved with you. And I will tell you that if you do that, you're going to have better control over your relationships, and you won't have yourself in the situation you're in right now, which is having to whip it up and do it the right way. That's that, in black and white.
Next on Singles Court. Things have come to a head between Glen and Lucy.
I tried to lovingly run my fingers through his hair.
Lovingly.
She says get rid of the lid.
You have something on your head that is not
I don't
part
have
of your
anything
body.
on my...
He says keep your hair on.
What is it?
Not a toupee.
Okay.
It's not.
We're back at Singles Court with relationship mediator Angela Siegel.
You are chipper.
I've had a lot of coffee today,
You
so
have
let's
been-
get to business.
You have been hitting the caffeine.
Yeah. Okay, in the studio today we have Glen, who is a math teacher, and Lucy, who is an RN, which I believe is a registered nurse. The two met about 6 months ago and have been dating off and on. However, a problem arose when Lucy tried to touch Glen's head in a very affectionate way, but Glen freaked out. He's a bit of a head case. I'll let them explain it a little more, but I call this the case of here today, gone tomorrow, or to pay or not to pay.
Lucy, there seems to be an issue with his head.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, Glen came to my hospital to get his gallstones removed. I was his nurse. He was very sweet and very nice, and he asked for my phone number. So I gave it to him.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
What gall?
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael.
Sorry, I had to.
Well, we started dating, and I don't believe in premarital sex.
Okay.
So we kissed and we held hands, and he was a perfect gentleman. He was wonderful. Until one day, I tried to lovingly run my fingers through his hair. and he-
Lovingly. That's a
What do
joke.
you mean lovingly? What's that
It wasn't
mean?
lovingly. It wasn't
What was,
lovingly.
what, you
What was
trying to
I
hit you in the
trying-
head? What else was
No,
she doing?
we'll tell them the story. Go ahead.
Please do.
We're
We
at a
were
restaurant.
kissing, and well, okay, so we're at a restaurant for our 6-month anniversary.
Which is
I'd
a good
already
thing.
discerned that maybe he was wearing
An expensive
a piece.
restaurant, too. I spent
And
a
I
lot
thought,
of money.
you know, he was a little embarrassed about it. It had come out in its own time. So we go to the restaurant, very expensive dinner, expensive bottle of wine,
Nice.
and he brings out a box, and it has a beautiful necklace
That
inside
beautiful
of it.
necklace right there.
And so, a knee-jerk reaction, I went over to kiss him. I just went over to touch his
She
head and kiss
lunged
him.
at me is what she did. She
do
lunged
you
across
lunge
the
a
table
kiss
at
at
me.
somebody?
She jumped across the table. It's a 4-foot table. She just jumped at me.
You're some
Scared the
kind of
hell out me.
jumper.
I
So she
guess
scares
so.
the hell out of me, and my legs go up, the table goes flying, the expensive bottle of wine goes flying onto the floor. It was
Wow.
humiliating.
Anyway.
Everyone's staring at her.
Did you have to wash dishes?
No.
Okay.
Who do you think they were staring at? Everyone was
they were staring at you.
Anyway,
Your ridiculous
they were all
behavior.
looking at him, and he
I
got...
think they were staring at both of you. Tables on the floor, wine flying everywhere.
Yeah, she's the one
Probably.
flying
So,
across
but why
the
the
room.
reaction? That's the question. Why the reaction? Because she's trying to kiss you, lunging at you, whatever.
She's
Most
trying to-
men would like that.
She's trying. Most men would like that, but
Okay,
as
so
she
tell me
knows,
the part that you didn't like.
Oh,
You're
well,
a man.
when I was a kid, I had a childhood accident. I was riding my bike through the woods, and I went flying off my bike, smashed my head open on a rock, and I had a huge gash, a huge scar on top of my head. And that's one of the reasons I keep my hair so big and fluffy, because I just don't like people to see it. I don't like to see it, and I just don't like people to touch it. That's all
You know,
it is.
Glenn,
It's a
I'm a
knee-jerk
ner-
reaction.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand you correctly. Your hair is, as you call it, big and fluffy.
Yeah.
Because you're hiding this scar from when you were a little kid.
Yeah, it's a huge scar.
But you've been with this woman for 6 months. At what point do you share the scar?
I don't want to ever share the scar. I don't like to share the
Ever.
scar with myself. It's a psychological thing. I just don't like to see it or know it's there
But you
or even
can't. If it's on
refer
top
to
of
it.
your head, you can't see it anyway. What kind of bedroom do you have?
Well, there's no mirrors in the ceiling.
Well, then how are you going to see it anyway?
Well, you might see it in the mirror in the morning when I wash my hair.
But let me ask you, you're a nurse.
Yes.
So do you have a problem with looking at the scar on top of
No,
his head?
I have seen many, many scars, many, many injuries, and nor do I believe that there is something that bad that he can't have me touch his head.
After I had the
I
scar,
feel like he's hiding something
2
from me.
years went by, and I'm playing basketball in school, and I get hit in the head with the basketball, and the scar splits open. So I'm so freaked out about it. I don't want.
That's
that
the
can
whole
happen.
thing.
That
if
can happen.
If you're gonna lie to me about this, what are you gonna lie to me about? You can't
Look, I
even feel
accept this
like you can
premarital sex
share it
thing.
with me.
Lucy. I mean, I have to tell you, I'm trying not to laugh. Really, I am. Because I don't understand why he's telling you that he has this very traumatic scar that's busted open and everything. You're in the medical profession, so please Help me understand what kind of injury that would be.
Well, there's nothing
really
that can be that
horrible
much.
injury.
No, it's not. Everything.
Are you an
your
infant?
brain falls
Look,
out
you
of your
gotta accept
head,
this. You gotta
or it
accept this
doesn't.
about me.
Or you lie to me.
I
about
accept
the
this
fact
whole premarital sex thing. She doesn't want premarital sex, that's fine. I would prefer premarital sex, but I accept that about her. Accept this about me.
Let me understand your logic here, because I'm really trying to understand you. I really am. You are saying if I'm going to allow you to not have, if we're going to not have sex, then you have to not touch my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's really personal to me. That's something personal to her. But why don't people understand that?
I don't understand. So please make it plain to me so I can understand. Really. You don't want her to touch your head.
Exactly.
And you're not going to touch her. So at what point, let's say the relationship goes to a year, 2 years, 3 years. At what point, because you will begin having sex, I can promise you that.
Yeah.
So does that mean she can touch your head?
Never. Never.
Never, ever.
No, it's something that is kept with me from childhood, and I just don't think I'll ever get over it.
It's like you're Damien and you have 3 6s on your head. I mean, it's just a
It's worse than that. It's worse than that.
Oh, could it be worse?
But really, it's about the fact that you have something on your head that is not
I don't
part
have
of your
anything
body.
on my head.
You
Nothing.
do.
No, I don't.
Come on. Well, you're wearing a wig.
I'm not
You're
wearing
wearing
a wig.
rug, Glen, admit it.
I'm not wearing a wig.
Well, what about this then, huh?
I don't know what that is.
It says
What is that? Where'd you get it from?
Well, I got it from Glen's house. I was out there one day waiting for him last week to show up, and he was late, and a courier
That's
came
my
and he gave
neighbor.
this
My
to
neighbor,
me.
my upstairs neighbor. He's
Named Glenn
bald,
Fryer.
hideous guy.
From Freddie's
But
Follicles.
that's you. That's your name. So why would it be coming to your neighbor?
Huh?
What are you doing with? That's a federal offense to open someone's mail,
She
isn't
didn't
it?
open your mail. Did you?
She's signing for
It's
my
closed.
mail.
I signed for his mail. I took it.
I mean, you don't go around
and
taking
then
people's mail, do you?
I couldn't help
I mean, you go
it.
to prison for that.
Do you want me to
want
open it?
honesty?
Okay, wait,
That's
wait.
not.
Listen, you seem to be very upset. You seem to be very
Going into my
upset.
private stuff.
What's in
She
the
didn't go in.
box?
That's my
killing
question.
me.
I don't know.
You want me to open
What's
it?
making you so?
It's probably a mistake.
Well, let's give you an opportunity. What's in the box? Because it's whatever it is making you very upset.
I don't know what's in the box.
Let's guess. Where's it
It's
from?
not a toupee.
Freddie's Follicles.
Okay, that was going to be my first guess. It's from Freddie's Follicles.
It's not a toupee.
Well, then what is it?
It's not a toupee.
What is it?
Not a toupee.
Okay.
It's
what-
not.
what
It's
else-
not a toupee.
Well, then what else do you think they sell at Freddie's Follicles?
I don't know.
Perhaps a horsetail? I mean, what else would it
Hairy
be?
mover, maybe.
Glenn.
I have a very hairy back.
Glenn,
Oh, no, you're very
Glenn,
back.
look me in the eye. You're wearing a rug.
My
I
God.
am not wearing a rug.
You know, really, you need to,
Everyone's crazy here.
Do you see
God.
what my problem
Everyone
is?
Does this
you.
look like a rug? Come on.
Actually,
Oh,
yes, it does.
sweetie.
But you know what?
I won't take
and
that personally.
Just please don't. You love this woman. You really
Very
like her.
much.
You're trying to have a relationship with her. So don't you think at some point we need to get to the honesty part of it? And I understand how
I'm being
traumatic.
honest,
You
Angela.
are not.
I'm.
I
Let me
understand.
open
You know,
this.
and I would never call somebody a liar. But today
You don't have
you're
to
going to
open
make
that.
me do it. You really are. And I don't like to do that. So before you make me do something I don't want to do, let me ask you: are you wearing a wig, toupee, false hair?
No, I am not.
Can I open this?
No, there's no need to open it. She doesn't need to
I'm
open
going to
it.
open it.
You know what? We're not going to open it because obviously you don't want to open up and tell the truth. You know you're wearing a wig, and I will come to my resolution. I'm going to come to my
Okay, wait.
resolution. Nope, done, finished. You know, revelations are difficult, especially when the person's not ready. Glenn, your denial is obvious. You are in a really, really deep state of denial. And, you know, denial is not a river in Africa. It's a state that we put ourselves in sometimes to protect ourselves. And obviously, you're experiencing a situation that's very painful for you. And I understand the pain. I even understand the denial. What you must understand is that in order to find love, you have to let the other person in where the pain lives. As long as you are hiding it and harboring it through your denial, you're never going to get the full advantage.
Right, would you want to marry someone who looks like this? You happy? Go ahead, laugh. Go ahead.
No.
It's not funny.
It's not.
We're not laughing. Like I said, you need to let someone in where the pain lives. Lucy, I think you're a great match for Glenn. Just by the nature of what you do for a living as a nurse, you'll be able to give him the nurturing and the caring that he needs. He needs to understand that you, for a living, know how to nurture and care for people. And I believe that that will transpire into your relationship. You know, denial doesn't protect you from the pain. All it does is postpone it. And that's what's happened in this relationship. You postpone the pain. But the good news is it's out now. We know. So now you can get on with your life and realize that your relationship is not based on where your hairline is. And I think what you'll find, if you allow yourself to love each other, what you'll find is that the sun really does shine, even on a bare surface. And that's that in black and white.
Well, there it is. When it comes to relationships, you have to take time to get to know each other and work out the kinks. And if two people are going to work together to weave a relationship, they need honesty and sharing. Join us next time here at Singles Court. Final word for singles.